Hi, my name's Rasa. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Motherhood Reflections here on Legacy Faith Media. Today we're going to be talking about how to train our children that have different personalities. Okay, I have 6 children and they are all very completely unique and different. Some of them are more compliant, some of them have a little bit stronger of a will, some of them are very relaxed and hang loose, and some are very structured and organized. Some of them can handle a huge mess in their room, and others want things exactly lined up just how they had them. So all of these things create unique situations within the family with these unique personalities, and even I have to recognize my personality in the process as well. Because we're a house full of different personalities. So how do we train our children keeping their personalities in mind? One thing that we definitely don't want to do is use their personality as an excuse for not training them to be obedient. Oh, well, they have this personality, so they can't comply. Or you get what I'm saying. Sometimes we can fall into that like, oh, well, they're like this, so that's why they're like that, so I don't need to discipline them, okay? We need to use wisdom as we are training each child, and we could be patient in the process, knowing that that process we have till from the time that they're born until they're 18. So we have 18 years of process. We don't need to get it done overnight, but we do want to be keeping in mind where we want them to be when they leave our house and they're no longer under our care and instruction. So keep that in mind as you're training each personality. I want you to do something. Think about the strengths of that personality and how you can really help them to continue on in those strengths. And then think about the weaknesses that might also come along with that personality and ways that you can be helping them to maybe cope with or be aware of those weaknesses so that they can balance that out in the future, in their future relationships. So let me give you a few different examples of a personality or a character quality, and then the strength and the weakness of it, and things to keep in mind as you're training. Okay, so I have a particular child who just loves things to be just so. He likes to follow instructions, safety standards, organization. He has a certain way that he likes things and doing things. He's been like that since he's been a baby. He just likes things to be consistent in a certain way, and he likes to know what to expect. And this has been a huge blessing for our family because, like, he is our lawnmower. From the time that he started mowing our lawn, he had a certain length that the grass would get that he would be comfortable with. And then he's like, I got to go out and mow the lawn. It's got to happen today. And he likes that routine. He also notices times when I'm not keeping a routine that it would be good to keep a routine in that area. And he'll say to me, hey, Mom, I see that this area, you don't have a routine there and things aren't going well. So maybe you should make a routine for that. And I'm like, wow, I didn't notice that. Thank you. And he actually helps me to create the routine and keep it. So that has been a huge blessing. And I praise him for the times that he's on it and he's helpful to our family in creating structures that help us. But then there's also a rigidity that can come with it that is maybe not very gracious when others can't hold that standard that he thinks should be held. And so we just have to continue to have conversations with that particular child and say, hey, first praise them for the blessing of their personality and let them know, hey, I really appreciate this. Or, yes, you're right. This is a really good thing if we could all keep it clean all the time. But, so-and-so's this old and they can't always keep things clean. And so I have to remind that individual that not everybody in the family is the same as him. And while it's good to have things clean and organized, there are going to be times and people that are not as organized as us. And that has given that child an opportunity to grow in grace towards other people who aren't exactly like him. Okay, so recognizing the blessing and then helping them to cope with things that might make it difficult with that personality. And then here's another example of one. Let's say you have a really compliant child. We have one child that is just super compliant, loves to please people, loves to please mom and dad. And like when somebody is down or they notice that somebody has a crushed spirit, this individual just loves to go up to them and encourage them. They're very sensitive towards other people's feelings in that way. And that has been a huge blessing because like I said, when somebody has a crushed spirit, they can recognize that and go and encourage them right away. And so we praise that with this individual. And we also, who doesn't want a very compliant child? That is amazing. Like you tell them to do something and they do it. And so we recognize that as a strength, but then it could also, the weakness of that particular personality might be because they love to please people, they might not be sharing all the negative feelings going on inside of them at times. They might be suppressing it or just keeping it in their heart. And there could be rebellion building in their heart without us even knowing it because outwardly they're complying. Things look smooth, things look okay. And then all of a sudden, in some kids, you don't even know until they're like late teens and out of the house that there was all this inward rebellion going on, and on the outside they looked like they were being compliant and obedient and good, and they maybe just weren't brave enough to act on all of those negative impulses that they had inside, and one day they just go wild and like live this life that you didn't even know was going on inside of them. So we need to be aware of those weaknesses that can come with those personalities. If somebody is a very compliant kid, we just want to make sure that we're talking to them, having conversations, asking probing questions to see, what's going on inside. How are you doing? And just get them talking so that you're not overlooking something. So those are just two examples out of many. If you have a child that you think has a really unique personality and you're not sure what the strengths and weaknesses of that might be, I want to strongly encourage you. In the book of James in the Bible, in the first chapter, it says, if any of you lacks wisdom, ask God for wisdom. He gives it generously to those who ask, and you just have to believe that He'll give it to you. So if you have a child that has this unique personality, pray and ask the Lord, hey, Lord, what is going on in this child's heart? Help me to see what's going on, under the surface. What are their strengths? How can I help encourage those strengths in them? And what are their weaknesses? What are things that we can be working on together? And how can I make them aware of their personality and those strengths and weaknesses in a way that is encouraging them towards future success in their lives? So anyway, those are just a few simple things that I noticed in our family. We have so many different personalities, and it's really important to just know our children, and that will help us when we know their personalities to help to kind of guide them in that right direction. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like button below and consider subscribing to our channel. I would love to continue to encourage you into the future. Also, if you have any questions or unique situations that you wanted to ask or comment about, please leave a comment in the comment sections below. I would love to hear your feedback or any questions you might have about personality types with your children, or even ways that you have uniquely worked with your children in helping train them with that particular personality type. Thank you so much. God bless you. Bye-bye. Mwah.